Hey, hi everybody, XXNick118XX here, and today I'm going to be talking about what I would consider the worst to the best Jasons in Friday the 13th, the game. And now, no, just please note, this is my opinion. Feel free to share your own opinion in the comment sections below. Alright, so let's get right into this, shall we? Okay, so starting off with part 9 as the worst Jason. I'm sorry to say this, he's just not that good. Like, for one, he's slow. For two, his hit points is just pointless. And he doesn't start off with enough traps. However, he does have good shifts, so I can give him the credit of a doubt. Like, I can understand why somebody would use him for this shift ability. Because it will regenerate quicker. And you pretty much have it lasting longer. Which is good. But stock I don't find necessary, but stun resistance is decent. If I wanted to use a Jason as stun resistance though, there is a Jason that I think is better with it though, but part 9, I'm sorry, it's just not my type of Jason. Okay, so next up, which is not as bad, is part 5. Part 5 Jason, to be honest, he's not that great. Yeah, he has door knives. Yeah, he has stock, which I don't really use stock that often. And yes, he can run. But his grip strength sucks, his stun resistance suck, and his defense suck. Which is why I just don't like this Jason. If you like to use this Jason, good for you. And he can be a pain in the butt to deal with. And I can admit that. Alright. Next Jason. Alright, now next up is starting to kind of becoming the curb to where things start getting better. Next up is part 7. He's still not that great, but he's not as bad as part 5 and part 9. To me, he is just a below average Jason. Here's what I have to say about him though. He is slow and his stun resistance suck. But he can be get a couple slashes in and then grab. Great, and his sense, awesome. Water speed though is rather useless, and I would generally still will not use. I would pretty much just stay away from using this Jason unless you're somebody that wants to do the typical slash grab type thing, which I don't mind you doing that. That or you're using him for the sensibility. Because since he is able to have a longer sense, duration, and range. Alright, let's get to the next. Alright, so now it's part 8 Jason. Now part 8 Jason is not the worst, but not the best. He works, yes, but here's what I like about him though. The destruction. You gotta have destruction, and if you don't, then the Jason just doesn't really stand out. Yes, water speed's not necessary, and yes, stock is not the greatest. However, at least he does not have the traps downside, which is fortunate. However, his sense sucks. Like it doesn't really matter too much. Especially when you start going into rage mode, then it will be double the speed, which means it'll go faster. And he's slow. Really nothing you can do about it. He's basically a zombie at this point. And his grip strength is bad. This is the only Jason that has the crappy grip strength that I will at least somewhat say, if you want to use him, go for it. He's not that bad. Alright, next. Okay, so next up is what I like to say as slightly a decent Jason. He's a really good objective Jason for many reasons. For one, he can run. Gotta be able to have that run ability. It's very useful. For two, he has the traps. You gotta have those traps for those specific locations. This Jason is perfect when it comes to being an objective Jason. At least trying to place as many traps as you can in those areas that people are just trying to deal with, which is the phone box and the cars, or just both at the same time. And it's really good from getting point A to point B, which is basically from objective to objective in a matter of seconds. However, though, he's not good for putting heat on counselors. He cannot shift as long, and his duration takes longer. Or I should say, the shift regeneration takes longer, I should say. However, his water speed's slow, but most of the time the counselors are not going to be in the water due to the fact that there's usually no boat to deal with. So this Jason, actually, its pro strengths outperformed the weaknesses of this Jason, which is rather nice, with the exception of the shift, which is a pretty hefty downside. Alright, let's get to the next Jason. Okay, so next up is part 3 Jason. This Jason, I would say, yes, I'm going to say this. Yes, he is annoying to go against, because most of the time the newer players that have used this Jason are just slashing, and slashing. But the ones that have played this game a long time that uses Jason, here's what to say. This Jason's really good for its grip strength. Perfection. Yes, he does have weapon strength, but is it really necessary though on this Jason? Now if you're doing the slash grab, understandable. But for me, I'm not that kind of player. So it's really not worth it. Okay. Now his weakness is he does have stun resistance. Alright. Not the biggest deal because the fact that if you're somebody that's good at juking counselors, especially from attacks, then this weakness doesn't really matter as much. Sense. Having sense as your weakness, no. But stock is just not necessary. Alright, let's get to the next. Alright, so next up is part 6. There's a reason why I like part 6 a lot. For one, he has the throwing knives. You gotta have that throwing knives. Next up is sense. Very useful for trying to find a close by counselor. Or at least a counselor within that sense range. And shift because you gotta be able to put all that heat into one counselor. Yeah, his defense is crap, but whatever. Yeah, he can't run, so he is slow, but you got shift to make up for it. And his morph sucks. Again, you got shift to make up for it. Alright, let's get to what I would say is the best Jason. Alright, so most of all, what I would say is the best Jason in the game. Now note, this is only including all of the base Jasons that are unlocked in the game. Naturally, but of course since everybody has all the Jasons now, excluding Savini. Shut up if you have Savini. I don't have him, so I'm not going to include him in this since I don't have him. But yeah, now back to what we were talking about, which is part 4. Part 4, he can run. Perfect. Second of all, he can shift. He doesn't really have shift, by the way. Like, yeah, he can shift, that's a weakness. But he does have weapon strength. Not necessary. Destruction. Yes, please. Give me that destruction. Now, his weaknesses. Now, like I said, I did mention shift being his weakness. Trap. Traps, he does not have enough traps. And water speed. Now, some of you may be asking why I consider this Jason to be the best Jason in the game. Come on, he's literally good because you can run and have destruction at the same time. This is the only Jason that can do that. Literally. Part 8 does have the structure, but he is clunky, as in slow. But this Jason, he can win. He's one of the faster Jasons in the game. Yeah. Alright, let's get to the outro. Alright, so I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I know I haven't been so well into the algorithm, and I've been kind of slacking again. And pardon me that
Hey everybody, I'm just talking over myself again.
having a hard time
But,
talking. Set what happens
part of you
when get upset really
may notice that I am not
So please
fully,
don't just kill me
doing my outro correctly, and also pardon me for my not so good mic quality.
Not here. But, oh yeah. Please let me know in the comment sections below and just share what you guys would say is what you would consider from the worst Jason to the best Jason, as I'm kind of curious of what you guys' opinion is. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, as it's going to help this channel out, and it's mostly going to kind of help me out in a way. Not like it wouldn't. And make sure you hit that bell to make sure you get a notification of when I make a next video. And I will see you all in the next video. Peace.